Hey everyone, Scott with Angry Badger Minis. Welcome back. We're working on these Wolfpack and Blood Claws, and we made the decision to what we were going to do. Thankfully, I was able to have a little bit of time to really read what was going on, and what it boils down to is I remembered, that Space Wolves had true grit. That's not in the codex anymore, but what they did was, at least this is my understanding, is they allowed the wolf pack to be armed with a chain sword as well as the bolter. That doesn't say that they have to give it up like other groups do, or typically other Space Marines do. And where that becomes an advantage, obviously, is that the chain sword doesn't cost any points. It's just 0, and I think that's their way of saying the true grip, because now you still have the chain sword and the bolter and bolt pistol and whatever, and you're able to get that extra attack in hand-to-hand combat. So that's essentially what I'm working on right now. I'll move these over a little bit for you. I've got I've basically been working on this, I don't want to say most of the day, because I've been actually working on other things that I have to, but what I have done, or what I have 5 more, and you can't see them, they're over here, sorry, this way. There's 5 more that I've got to put gun arms on, and then I'm gonna try or attempt to take off some of these arms, because I did not realize that I had so many of these, and then we're gonna have to go back. We've got plenty of chain swords to do the job, but some of the chain swords, we're gonna have to look at how it is. I was kind of hoping that for my Space Wolves wolf pack that do not have this particular arm where they're holding the bolter out with one hand, we're gonna have to see if we have chain swords that are that don't have a hand on them, and I'm not sure that we do, that are Space Wolf, but I should have plenty of the older style that maybe I can just kind of glue on their side as if it's magnetized or something like that, so that way I'm still technically WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get. So that's what we're working on right now. I also elected to take 5 of these guys and just go ahead and put a plasma rifle on them. I've got to do a little bit of cleanup, and that's what we're working on at the moment. So let's see here. Gonna have to be careful there. I'll rip off the tail there, and we don't want that. I had to glue these arms on at the moment. It's just just how it goes. Gotta let stuff dry sometimes and harden, or you're not gonna be able to work with it. So, and I think what we're gonna do after this Space Wolves army, mind you, I've still got quite a bit to do with the Storm Fang, or whatever the heck it's gonna be called, and the Land Raider, and then all of the drop pods. Once that's all done, that's literally all I've got left, and I think what we're gonna do is we're going to move to Deathwatch, so I can kind of get that Deathwatch and Grey Knights and try to get those 2 Space Marine armies taken care of, since they're relatively small. Just kind of get them out of the way, and then we're gonna move to I'm probably going to move to building my salamanders and my homegrown chapter that I haven't told you guys the name of or anything like that. But I think we're on a good path to getting that all done, and that'll free up some cabinet space as well. And yes, I am procrastinating huge on doing the TOW. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, I had a conversation with my wife today about it, where she was like, you know, it doesn't seem like you like the TOW at all. And I said, you wouldn't be far from the truth. And of course, you know, it stems back to my animosity towards Games Workshop for stealing my rules, which ended up being rules for marker lights almost word for word in the first codex. Now, I didn't mind, again, for those of you that don't know, I didn't call them marker lights. I was basing it off of real world laser, lasing technology at the time for, what I was doing at the time. And, as a forward observer, in that role, using call for fire, close air support and that kind of thing. And play tested the heck out of those rules. I mean, because not only were they able to laze targets, because back then, whirlwinds and things like, basilisks and stuff like that, they couldn't target anything they couldn't see. And, if you couldn't see it, it didn't matter if you wanted to guess at it or not. And I mean, yeah, maybe some people did some home rules. I don't know. I don't remember hearing of any of that. But that's what I came up with. And it was, for lack of a better phrase, it was a pretty expensive unit to try to make it fair. It was an elite type unit, depending on which type of targeting and what your capabilities were, and it was an infiltrating unit. However, whenever you used the laser, you had to roll. It took an entire turn for it to work. Okay, like an entire turn, and you had to roll to see if you were detected. Every time that you decided to do this. So essentially, how it worked in this simple is if this guy right here was lasing this, this guy over here, in the first turn, it would take an entire turn for that laser to, to be, just call it setup time, okay? And then what would end up happening is it would be set up the entire time for the rest of the battle that they could use it wherever they want. But every unit that they put the laser on, they had to test to see if they were discovered. And if they were, there was a tiny little chart or whatever. It was like D3, and you either had to break down and go away, like you literally left the battlefield, or trying to think back how long. Man, I was back in 99, 2000. I believe that there was another thing where they were unable to go into cover, or I'm sorry, not go into cover, but be an infiltrator anymore. So they were not able to conceal themselves anymore. And then the third one, I believe that it was a mishap or something like that, and they ended up being targeted by your own stuff. So there was a little bit of hilarity to it, and but I mean, all in all, it worked out really well. I mean, like I said, we tested it out left and right, and I mean, it was really fair. And so I sent those rules in because it, like I said, in White Dwarf, they were asking, hey man, they were asking for homegrown rules or whatever, and if they liked it, they would submit it into White Dwarf. And so I did, and well, I mean, like I told my wife today, I probably would have been better off if they just never said a word to me and nothing would have happened. But instead, what happened was they sent me an email back literally stating that we can't use these rules, they don't fit in the 40K universe or in this type of gameplay. And so I kind of accepted that. I was like, okay, well, that's fine. But then a month and a half, 2 months later, the first TOW codex came out, and almost word for word, my rules were in that codex, and I couldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine called me up and said, hey man, you need to check this out, or do you have your codex yet? And I didn't. And he goes, well, call me back when you get it. And I think it was like another week or so. And when I got it, I mean, it was like, I couldn't believe, what had happened. So yeah, still, after all these years, still kind of upset about it. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. And it's just, unfortunately, it ruined that army for me in a way, because I can't look at that army now without knowing that happened. And some of you may be saying, oh, well, let it go, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, you know, if you put that kind of time and effort into something, you know, and, you know, especially for the betterment and enjoyment of other folks, you know, you might think differently. Okay. The other aspect of the Tau that I can't stand is I don't like the shape of them. I don't know, man. It's just something about their armor and everything. It's just annoying. And then I've seen very few paint jobs that I would consider something I would want, you know, to paint. And you know, I'm hoping that it'll grow on me. I mean, that's one thing, you know, even with putting all these armies together, they are growing on me. I mean, I wasn't real big on trying to do blood claws, but again, I want to play to the lore. And as the lore says for Space Wolves, the majority of a Space Wolves company or unit that's out there are the Wolf Pack, and blood claws make up a small portion of that. So why wouldn't I go ahead and include them, just, you know, again, for the lore's sake? And so that's where we're at with that. But I'm not even sure how I got on that subject. Oh, that's right, because we were trying to decide what armies were next. The other thing is, what was I going to say? The salamanders in my homegrown chapter, I've got to sort that out, and it might take a little bit of it, but I need to sort out, you know, what assets as far as models are concerned that I'm going to actually, you know, commit to each army. My homegrown chapter doesn't need to be that big. Matter of fact, I've even thought about foregoing the firstborn models for it and going with the Primaris models, since I'm not planning on including them in anything, you know, any of my space, you know, regular Space Marine armies. But I don't know. I'm just, you know, I'm kind of undecided. And then, of course, the very last army that I will ever be putting together will be my Krieg Death Corps, because, well, at least I say that, but I mean, that's the army I've been waiting on forever. And the last thing I want to do, well, those of you that know anything about resin, you know it's going to take some serious prep work. It's not just like, you know, these, clip them off and, you know, glue them together. I've got to wash them. I got to do all this stuff, you know, and then I've got to wear protective gear, you know, so that when I'm sanding and doing all the stuff I'm doing, I'm breathing that stuff in. You know, it's not going to be, you know, it's definitely not for kids, I'll put it that way. And I've got some other resin models that are the same, but the Krieg Death Corps, I know what's going to happen. Even though I love salamanders and all that kind of stuff, I know that once that army is put together and painted, I may never play another thing again. It's just an amazing army, the way it looks and whatnot. And I mean, I'm saying that. I mean, I'm just, obviously I'm going to play other stuff, but it's, you know, it's one of the, it's the pinnacle for me of this hobby and what I'm looking forward to. Even though they're, you know, still just, for all intents and purposes, just guardsmen. And, you know, and again, it goes back to, if you think about it, it goes right back, you know, to what I said about, you know, boards, you know, game boards and how they're played today. You know, there's so much terrain there. It almost makes things, you know, it almost makes your armies, you know, incompatible or obsolete. And then when people make the comment, you know, oh, well, they're not good, you know, the meta's not good, blah, blah, blah. There are ways, if you play the right way, and when I say the right way, like you know, you try to add, you know, some other things to it that you and your opponent can both agree on, that will make those armies work. And in a perfect example, for instance, that I'm surprised does not exist unless I have, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't read the whole rule book, but if you remember, for those of you that have been around in the hobby for a while, you had night fighting rules, okay? One thing that we did in the gaming club that I was, you know, vice president of a long time ago, is we would put together these mini tournaments, if you will, and scenario-driven games, and it was an entire, you know, chart of basically unspecified or random events, okay? So let's just make this as simple as we can. Let's just say that you were on a desert planet or something like that, and, you know, you're sitting there going, oh man, look at the board, you know, I mean, you got, you know, it's a gun line, blah, blah, blah. Well, it may not be. And if you want to make it, you know, a little more realistic, you know, and fair, then, you know, what you could do is you could impose, you know, a random event such as a dust storm for each unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, each unit has to roll for how far they can see. Now, maybe it's not a roll of the dice, quote, as in inches as far as how far they can see, but maybe it's something, you know, like a quarter, half, 3/4 of their normal distance, you know, or something like that. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. You just need the imagination. And I think that would make the battlefields a lot better. They would look better. You would have better battles, in my opinion, you know, more desperate battles. Now, of course, that's not going to work for match play, you know, unless it was, you know, something that the tournament organizer put in there, you know, for everyone. And I'm sure plenty of people would be upset about it because they're used to a certain way that they do things. They're used to a certain method, you know, just like a real-time strategy game. They're used to, okay, well, I know that in the first turn I'm going to deploy here, 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 and here if he does such and such, you know, and you know, rightly so. I mean, I would never fault them for practicing, you know, your gameplay. I mean, it's what football players do, right? Or basketball players or anybody else. You know, there is an actual, you know, playbook, so to speak. But the thing for me is, again, every board is looking the same, and I almost feel like in some ways this game does not exist except for match players now. And well, like I said before, I think too many people are afraid to lose a game. I'm not saying everybody, but too many people are afraid to lose a game, and you know, to them it's not enjoyable if they do lose, and if they do, then Games Workshop has done it masterfully where, oh man, I lost and this guy had whatever, so I need to go out and buy such and such a model to be able to beat him, okay, or be competitive. Well, I mean, they got to make money, I guess, you know, for the shareholders. They've got, you know, they've got a company to run, and you know, it's just the way it goes. But again, I think that there's something to be said about open conflict, you know. So I still believe there are ways to get around that where you're not filling up the entire board with terrain, so it's a game of hide and seek until you're 3 inches from each other. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's see, we got 3 more here. Let's see if I can take them off of here. I also downloaded, oh gosh, what's it called? I think it's called Deathwatch or something. I had it a long time ago. Matter of fact, I'll tell you. Let me see here if I can do it while hopefully it doesn't affect my live stream. Yeah, Warhammer 40,000 Deathwatch. Now, I know that I'm pretty sure you can't get this anymore. If I'm wrong, that would be great. Maybe you can't get it anymore on a mobile phone or something like that. But I plan on doing some of that as well. And one thing I would like to do with you guys, you know, again, is it's more turn-based. So what's to stop us from, you know, I've got this character, you've got that character, and you guys just tell me, you know, where you want it to go, and then we can kind of play it that way. But let me know if that's something you guys think you're interested in versus just watching me play the game by myself. I think it would be kind of neat, you know, kind of team-based, you know, combat on live stream. Whoa. Maybe turn it into kind of an RPG type deal where, you know, you're controlling your character as far as upgrades and things like that. I'd like to do that too, is do some kind of RPG over live stream. Perhaps if I can learn the actual RPG Deathwatch, that would be good. I'm going to watch, when I have time, I'm going to watch the Wrath and Glory stream that Chapter Master Valrak did, or well, he was a part of today. And they did a it was Wrath and Glory, what you call it, you'd watch, you wouldn't want to be one of the characters or one of the Space Marines. Like I said, it's very turn-based. I mean, it is turn-based. And I believe it's mostly against Tyranids. Alright, I don't know why I just picked that guy up. Actually, I do know why. Alright, let's see here. We want something... I'm going to use these skulls here. Oh, and I mean, I don't have a reason to do this, but this is just how it was. If you guys take a look here, let's see if I can get the camera to focus. And I notice I'm not the only person having to do it this way out on YouTube. Right here on top of his hand is where I would put a small magnet, and then underneath the gun right there, where his hand would go, I would put another magnet. If you were going to magnetize one Space Marine to have, you know, all the different weapons that are available to them. Now, I'm not going to do that here, and I'm actually barely going to put a little bit of glue on there, just enough, because I may do that later. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, because, you know, now that I think about it, because I've got that one guy with a plasma rifle, and I mean, I'm not going to play Space Wolves probably in the manner that I would play other Space Marine chapters. I forgot I need to add some glue on their shoulders. Yeah, man. I mean, we'll probably finish this entire 70-man army here tonight, which is great. And then, like I said, all we've got is the Land Raider, a bunch of drop pods. Since we've only got 7 squads here. No, I'm gonna commit 8. That way I can commit, you know, some kind of Devastator squad or something like that to it if I can. Long Fang, sorry. Or I'll change it. Who knows? Who knows? Oh man, no. But I think we're making great progress, and that's, you know, that's the key here, is to keep moving, getting all this stuff put together. I'm really looking forward to getting to the point where I'm painting. Like I said, what I want to do first is I want to paint some terrain. I think, you know, do a painting tutorial on terrain, and then that way I'll have a general idea of the hue and the method in which I want all of my armies to look, so that they match the terrain, if that makes sense. So who all do we have here besides Cameron? See, we've got one more person here. Well, are you painting them? Man, what? This is not want to. Are you painting your models, or are you just putting them together? All right, let me move this over here for now. Get these guys over here. Oh crap, I glued the wrong side. That'll happen. Oh, so you're just putting them together then? Yeah. I mean, think about it. You know, this is 70 of these guys plus all, you know, 10 Terminators, 10 Long Fangs, the special characters. I don't even remember how many we got of them. 5 or 6 or something like that. And then all of the other armies that I've done, you know, in that regard. The thing that takes the longest for me, I think, is the cutting of everything off of the sprues. But I mean, you know, it's not that big a deal. That's true. That's true. Well, I'll tell you this. If you had to tell the Emperor of Mankind that you had other business to do, he'd tell you you were weak. I'm just kidding. I'll be right back. I'm going to take this sweatshirt off. Some good chicken and rice and vegetables for dinner, and metabolism's heating up. Wait a minute, this is the wrong arm. What am I doing? Good grief. Yeah, I definitely want to make sure these guys all have their chain swords and whatnot. I mean, 2 attacks in combat, that's good to go, man. I also learned a little bit about how Space Wolves organized now that maybe I forgot about, is you could literally, for Blood Claws, have up to 15 with a Wolf Guard pack leader and a Wolf Guard leader in Terminator armor. That's insane. I don't know what the effectiveness would be, but still pretty insane. So that kind of lends some credence to how I had bought this army to begin with. So I probably did know that, I just forgot about it. Start gluing guns on these guys here. And I had to keep these guys separate because their arms are down here. versus the ones that I had to use for those three guys. They were, believe it or not, an A and B type arm, which was great. First time I actually seen on the sprue where they separated it or identified it as such. Oh crap, what am I doing? Ooh. Come on. Why are you playing games with me right now? Oh my goodness. I had it and then the residual glue that was on my stinking thumb pulled it right off. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. I'll tell you. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Almost put some right there again. I was almost thinking about painting these guys a different color scheme from traditional Space Wolves, but I don't know that I'm gonna do that. Also don't know what company I'm gonna use, you know, like what company they're from. I mean, I'm thinking just the main, you know, the one with the main Space Wolf symbol on it. Good grief. Let's see here. Take a break for a second and check that out. So let's see. These are the main companies. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Looks like the main symbol that you normally see are the black mains. So that looks like what I've got going on right now. And Ragnar Blackmane, if I'm not mistaken, crossed the Rubicon Primaris and became a Primaris Marine. So I could make my own Primaris dude and call him Ragnar Blackmane if I really wanted to, but I don't know. It says Ragnar frequently has the honor of leading the Space Wolves' planetary invasions, seeding a world with ravening packs of Reavers before launching one of his famed drop pod assaults. Oh, well, that sounds about like this army. So there you have it. Guess we'll do that. That means I'm gonna have to make a model. Ugh. And that means I'm probably also gonna have to do one with a face instead of a helmet. Ugh. Annoying. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just say he delegated this attack to my Iron Priest while he's up in the battle barge, you know, Space Marine battle barge, drinking Starbucks or something. Oh my goodness. why I'm having such a difficulty putting these bolters on right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I actually thought about making some kind of, I don't know, some kind of tray or something on the other side of my desk here, but I'm not sure I can get to the desk, you know, well enough, so that way things wouldn't fall on the floor. So what all models do you have, Cameron, for your Space Wolves? I mean, did you buy, I mean, other than the Indominus set and the guy on the wolf, Canis, whatever his name was, did you buy other stuff? Cannot win right now. So you bought a pack of Gray Hunters. Okay. Did you buy a Land Raider or drop pods or anything? Oh, okay. Gray Hunters Combat Patrol. Okay. I don't remember exactly what all's in that. I think it might. Does that have a Dreadnought or something? I don't remember. Okay. Some conversion kits. Last one, we have to put a rifle in his hand, or on his hand. Vanguard, Space Marines. So how big is your army, would you say? Like how many models? Let those dry. Okay. So now we're going to go back to these plasma rifle guys. Sorry. See if we can get their arms on there without any major difficulties, I hope. Well, it's not the cleanest fit, but it'll work. You won't be able to see that anyway. 125 give or take plus some vehicles. So if you're putting maybe three together a night, that's 41 days just in your troops. I'm just playing with you. So you'll be done with your army about the time I'm done with all my armies. I'm kidding. That's not even a possibility for me to be done, I mean. Is he gonna play Space Wolves too? Wow. How's that gonna work? I guess we could tell by the fact that his are painted better than yours. I'm joking, man. I'm totally joking. He's been bitten. Well, you know, there's worse things that they could be doing. And there's a lot of math. There's a lot of, you know, thinking in this game. It's one of the things I enjoy about it. Probably gonna say, Dad, you're not allowed to paint yours gray because I want mine to be gray. So you'll have to paint yours like some kind of other, something else. You're gonna have to have pink Space Wolves. Well, that's, like I said, that's something I want to do in the 40K realm. And I think it could be done here pretty well. Yeah, I like them too. I wish there were more. But, you know, it's how it goes. Now there are third-party things out there that you can, you can buy. I just don't know that if you ever went to like a legitimate, tournament, if they would let you play. Probably not if it was a Games Workshop one or a Games Workshop sponsored one. Friendly local gaming store tournament, I don't see why they would necessarily have a problem with it, but I guess anything's possible. That would be kind of unfortunate in my opinion. It's not like, it'll change the fact, if you win or lose. It's just a Games Workshop thing. Alright, so the plasma rifles are good to go-ish. Let's see. Who's next? So I'm trying to procrastinate and put off the chain swords at the moment. So we're gonna go ahead and finish putting these arms on these guys. These arms here. Make sure I got the right arms. All right. See here. Are you working on models now? Like right now? I got you. Well, before you go, let me pause for a second and let's see if this will work. I'll have to do something here real quick. I'm just curious if this will work at all for screen. Yeah. I already have it. Let's see here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if you guys can make this out, if I can even do it, because I am curious. Oh, so you're running the app. Okay. Let me see here. For some reason it's not working yet. The windowed part works, so that's good. Just hold on a second. I want to see if you can help me test this out. You don't have to actually do anything, but I don't know if it's loading or what the heck it's doing. I also don't know if you can see me right now or what. Let's see here. Okay. So got that set up. Yeah, no, hold on a second. I gotta do things here.
They came from darkness. First the dot, then a glare.
How does that look? Is that looking halfway, you know, smooth or what? Forgot I played this a long time ago, so these are all my Space Marines. See if we can go back. How is that flowing? I mean, does it look pretty decent or what?
Kill team. The biomass pools in this chamber must find agent. Begin the process by pouring the flasks into the pools.
how is it as far as like sound, as well as, you know, is it choppy? I mean, like, what's going on? Trying to figure out what else I'm supposed to do. I think that's might be the end of my turn. I don't know if you have to use up all the action points or not. Guess you do. Okay, might just be too much going on. Alright, I'll work on it. Something I can work on. Again, I'm planning on trying to get my my other computer up and running, and hopefully that'll fix things. So let's see here. Alright, so we're back to work here. That's enough enough fooling around, I guess. So I appreciate you sticking around for that. The only way I can find out is after I do it and then upload it onto YouTube and then go back and try to watch it, you know. I'd like to get it where it's not choppy. That would be ideal. All in good time, though. Hey. Am I out of glue? Guess I'm out of glue. Alright. Well, that was probably my fault, because when I was switching back and forth from OBS to the game to make sure everything was running, it cuts off the sound on the game. So that's my fault. But that's the game I was kind of talking about. You know, you could be, you know, like maybe you want to be the Space Wolf Space Marine of the Deathwatch squad, and then you can tell me where you want to go, and you know what to target, etc., what upgrades, you know, if you earn experience and that kind of thing. At least that's what I was thinking. We can make one of these fit instead, because it's got a smaller arm. Or yeah, that's better. I think it would be fun. I mean, I've never done it. I just think it would be cool. getting there. Once we get these arms on and get the chain swords on the other guys, all we've got left are the pauldrons, backpacks, and helmets, and we're done with these guys. So that'll be cool. I mean, as far as putting them together. Alright. Five more of these guys, and then we go right into the chain swords, which I gotta cut off. So no. Who the heck is Vince Venturilla? Something to do with Age of Sigmar. Never heard of you. Some AOS guys out there. You never heard of that guy? Nope, never heard of him. And again, he might be somebody that I that I literally favorited on YouTube and totally forgot. Last one. All right. Okay, chain swords. We need, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. And they've all got to be on the, well, no, they don't. Okay. So let's do it this way. Let's make sure we've got the right guys with the right arms. That way we can speed this up just a hair. Looks like most of our guys are left-handed with the chain sword. Should have plenty, but cutting these chain swords out isn't actually enjoyable, to be honest with you. Not around the blade itself. there's a slight little bit that wants to stay on. Alright, so let's go in there. These are going, wait, what? No, swap that. Alright. Right at this spot right here is where it gets ridiculous. Okay. So have you gotten, bought your son any models, Cameron? Okay. So you got him the same patrol box, I guess? Or patrol setup? I mean, nothing wrong with that. You can play with stuff that small. I mean, armies that small. Doesn't have to be huge. Six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can maybe get into Kill Team. I haven't played Kill Team yet. I have the rules and everything. I just never played it. But I mean, it wouldn't be, in my opinion, I would just play a smaller version of 40K, unless there was something really crazy in as far as play testing with the rules for balance. Hey, that's what this hobby is all about. I mean, if he wants to play in tournaments, he'll have to go by the rules, but as far as, what weapons and stuff, but playing friendly games, with you or whatever, doesn't matter. Okay. Let's see here. We should have what we need for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yep, so that size is good. And 10, 14. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We need 4 more of that side. So that'll be this side here. So this actually went faster than I thought it was gonna go. So that's good. Those two lefties. So has your son been watching these videos? He's not bored yet? Alright. One thing about all these Space Marines, they got a bunch of, you know, like chapter upgrades or chapter specific stuff on them. The details stick out and they tend to stick you in the hand and get stuck to your skin. These little needle-like protrusions, like these claws or teeth on here. Well, Tristan, if you happen to make it this far, hello. Hopefully we'll be playing a game together soon. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on this, guys, and we'll do the update, you know, tomorrow. See where we're at. I mean, I'm going to be obviously done with these guys tonight, but I may have started on something else before, you know, because going to bed just doesn't seem to be my forte. But we're going to go ahead and call it a night, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in and keeping up with the progress. Take care.